The Gen Z protesters who have cowed their president. For weeks, Kenya's youth have flooded the street, mobilizing online.
Forward, comrades, forward! Forward!
They forced the president to backtrack on his controversial finance bill.
I concede.
But they are not done.
We are trying to bring down this sham of a government as soon as possible.
They want real change to overhaul a corrupt system. They have momentum and ambitions for power.
We hope to have lots of MPs and president if possible.
Friday night in Nairobi's trendy Gecko Cafe. And everyone wants their picture taken with one man.
Let's go!
The sharply dressed Kasmuel Mukure has become somewhat of a celebrity.
I think what you're going to do, you're going to inspire many people.
He used to play piano here to earn a living. Now he has become a figurehead of Kenya's new protest movement.
You mustn't stop, and you must never ever be intimidated into silence.
Despite what he projects in his dapper suit, Kasmuel comes from a poor background. He understands the poverty and inequality that plagues this country. He sees only one solution.
We want a total overhaul of the system, and it sounds the only people who are threatened are the imperialists, are the people who actually just sit and grasp and whore our future and deal, just rob us of the future, because as I always say, corruption is genocide. You're stealing from a future, you're stealing from millions of people.
Kenya is no stranger to political protests, but this is different. Driven by young, educated Kenyans who do not subscribe to political or tribal allegiances. They took to the streets in mid-June, furious about a tax bill which would see a rise in the cost of basic goods and services, while the political elite openly broadcast their lavish lifestyle to a country suffering from a cost of living crisis. By the end of June, the official death toll stood at 50, but in reality, it's thought to be more than 200.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you. You must go.
As protesters stormed Parliament and pressure grew, President Ruto yielded to their demands.
And listening keenly to the people of Kenya, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 finance bill.
But for Kasmuel and his comrades, this is not enough. And so they head back out to the streets.
I'm a very optimistic man today, that in this forward march in history, that we will be able to reclaim our country from the pangs and fangs of corruption. I expect there to be a lot of police violence.
He's not wrong. They are quickly met with armed police and tear gas, breaking up the crowds, while Kasmuel plays a game of cat and mouse as they try to arrest him.
So it's almost as though I'm not allowed to be on the streets. Yes. But that's totally fine. What we are promising today, that we don't want any further bloodshed.
The police come for him again. He makes a dash for it, narrowly avoiding their grasp. He takes shelter in a nearby building, as always keeping his followers up to date with what's happening. You don't think they're waiting to arrest him?
At this point, if I'm going to be honest, I really do not care, because they've arrested most of my friends that I was marching with today. I only was lucky to escape by a whisker.
Honestly, are you worried for your life? Are you scared?
I am, but at this point, I've donated my life to the cause.
Outside, his fellow protesters face down the police. President Ruto has tried to appease them by appointing a new cabinet. But they see them all as corrupt political elites that need to be brought down. Jubilance outside the court the next morning as they arrive to ensure their arrested comrades are released.
These are innocent protesters. They've been held in Comunicado for over 24 hours, and that's what we were doing here. So we came in solidarity with our comrades who slept in the courts. They were brutalized by the police.
This is a movement of unity. They are here to defend each other's rights and the rights of every Kenyan.
The beauty is in running this in a collective. We've learned it gives us insulation. When they come for you, they're like, oh yeah, no, you have to take all of us, and then suddenly they cannot. That synergy, that togetherness, in Swahili we call it umoja, that togetherness has been nothing but beautiful.
These young, educated people don't want to be on the streets being choked by tear gas.
Viva, comrades, viva! Viva, comrades, viva!
They want to live, to prosper, but in order to do that, they believe they must fight for a political revolution.
We want to play piano and write poetry and kiss our lovers and embrace our families, but we have to be on the street for us to pursue that superior happiness of our people, so that when generations to come, they find that we created a time where they can prosper. And it's not prosperity for a few, but prosperity for all.